welcome back to Bride's Podcast. We have the co-host of our new segments, Mike Ratcliffe.
Co-host.
We're going to be trying to do some different things with the podcast. It's been a little while, but back up and running. I've tried to get guests and set up different times, but as you all may not know, comedians suck for reliability, and I'm just not a really cool person, and this podcast isn't popular, so that's probably why most of them don't want to come.
Those are all three fantastic top points, to be honest.
The reliability is the biggest one, because everybody, a lot of people do want to come on, and I get that. I get people all the time that are like, "Hey, why don't you?"
I want to live in your basement.
No, you can finish out the shed. We can.
I know we talked about that. I could see myself shed life.
It's not even. It's bigger than that thing's got more square footage than my house before this.
It's a trickery shed. You got 3 different doors you got to walk through. There's a hand fucking sensor so you can get in there.
Yeah, it's for all the do-rugs and all my opium fields.
I'm not blaming you.
To another dimension, man.
I get it.
But, so we are going to try some different things. I'm still definitely going to be talking about every fucking thing that we think of and feel like talking about.
Our mothers, more than likely.
Yeah, my mom and I are on bad terms right now.
No,
we never know. You never know.
I think I've only been on bad terms with my mom once, and I think I thought it was bad terms. And she was just like, I just want to talk to you. And I was like, she fucking hates me because I was a fucking piece of shit. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. No, absolutely not. It's my mother. She's fucking terrifying. She's like Ellen. Like, I used to make that joke because, like, she's just a goofy, like, never serious type person, dances and shit, short hair, kind of looked like a lesbian. And then after all this shit came out where Ellen's insane, that's even more my mom. Like, my mom, when she would get mad out in public, she'd be able to shoot you a look of just this, like, I don't fucking
the
love you
mom
anymore.
look. Yeah, I still got that.
But still just be...
She can still...
Still just be two-stepping.
My mom still got that fucking look.
And, she's like 5'2". I was scared to fight her. Like, not because she's my mom. Like, she would kick my fucking ass. And it's like,
well,
she took Taekwondo for like 2 months, man. She's been living on that dream for like 15 years now.
Yeah.
She'll fucking, ever since she took it, she'll still do it. She'll walk up to us. She'll be like, put your hands up. And then she'll, and then do a kick. And it's like, Mom, it's been 15 years since you've taken Taekwondo. Or not even Taekwondo. Tai Chi. What was the fucking famous one?
Next time she tells you to do it, put your elbows up and then just elbow her right across the bridge of her nose and split that bitch open. Be like, I told you, old woman.
I'm the Iceman.
Where's the purse at, bitch? I got drugs to buy.
Give me that belt.
I'm sorry, I just called your mom a bitch.
I mean, I'm sure people have called her that before. She's not, but
mine is. Mine would tell you straight up. Like, look, put it this way. When we have, like, me and my old lady has to go a little crazy or, like, really push something, especially with, like, a company or the state dealing with something like that, we call it going Kim Mitchell, which is my mom's name. Call it that because she has gotten shit. Like, my old lady, when the Obamacare marketplace, she had got insurance through her company, and she got perfect credit, all that bullshit, and has always done really good with it. Well, the marketplace of the insurance through Obamacare or whatever tried to say that she did something wrong. Anyway, there were so many different things, moving parts, that one didn't contact the other.
Yeah.
And they were about to hit her for not having insurance when she had insurance. And like, so, and it took forever. Then my mom, like, my old lady would sit on the phone for like 2-3 hours for like every day for 2 weeks trying to get it all sorted out and figured out before it went to collections on her credit. And my mom, found out about it. We were talking to my mom about it, and she said, send me the number. Within 20 minutes, my mom called back and said, you should be getting a call. And my old lady just got the phone. Her phone was ringing as mine was. And with the apology, email confirmation, everything. I don't know how she does that shit like that.
Shit.
Yeah, she just knows. I think people know, they're like, this woman can make my life hell.
My ex-wife, that is her. And I'm not saying anything bad about her. But but like she's military. She's military. She's very fucking like she doesn't fucking get screwed over. And like I would sit there and we'd be in banks, and she would just be giving this teller like the business, and it's like, babe, it's $20. Like, let's go. And she's like, no, that's my fuck. I'm like, just go with shit. She get like $40 somehow. And it's like, how did that even work? Like, how did you get away with that? Like, you're a piece of shit. You're not. You're like, every time she was kind of screwed. Like, she wasn't just doing that to be a dick. But
I only do it certain times when people really piss me off. And I remember last time I was working at the Sky Music Lounge. I was building houses. So I'd wake up at like 4:30, 5 in the morning, and get to the job site out in Eureka, like by 6 o'clock, belts on, compressors going. But I got off at a decent hour. I'd always get off at like 2 o'clock. Get off at 2 o'clock, and then I'd go home and do what I had to do around the house, and then usually would go and bartend from Thursday to Sunday night. And the owner there was a bunch of shit wrong with this little place, and I was going around fixing it, being as being how I am, handy and everything, and construction, build houses. I got a lot of shit. I can give a good reach around, just the key skills it takes to be a handyman. I
mean, handyman, reach around. It's basically in the name.
Yeah. So I told him, like, he had a sink leak in it by the main bar, and there was like a gasket or something out on it. And I told him, I was like, instead of getting the plumber, man, and because he called one, it was going to take like 2 weeks. I was like, we'll have a plumber come up within the week at one of my job sites. I'll go into his vein. I'll get the gasket that I need for free. That way you don't have to pay somebody, and I'll just slap it in. Well, I told him that, and he used this place as his little, like, it was just his little sandbox, his little playground. It was the only reason he owned it. Yeah. He took all his friends there, felt like the man, got really wasted.
Bangs bitches that he thought were great, and they weren't.
Yeah, and so I get a phone call the next day. The next morning, it's like still 10 in the morning. I didn't get off and get home until like 4 because you shut down the bar. You got to count everything and stock everything and take all your inventory of all the booze. So get a phone call, and it's the manager, this chick, and she's saying how the owner's flipping out that sink's not fixed yet and this and that. And I was like, I just talked to him about that and it just pissed me off so bad because I had been going above and beyond at this place. Like I completely cleaned out their 2 walk-in refrigerators because they were gross. And at the time, I was still had my Adderall prescription, my Vyvanse prescription or whatever. So I would get off, and I'd usually take a Vyvanse and then go to my next shift, my next job, from construction to there, take a nap.
No wonder you're cleaning out fucking walk-ins and shit.
Yeah.
Vyvanse out.
I'd go in there, and I fucking would crush it and got that place back in tip-top shape. And this motherfucker today, I got pissed. I was like, you know what? Fuck that pussy. I was like, he's going to have you call me and try this shit? I was like, fuck that. Tell that pussy to call me right now. And I was like, you know what? I'm coming to do it. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because he's like threatened me with another. I guess I'm just going to have to hire another bartender to take up some of his hours. And I was like, bitch, this is my play money. Like, you done fucked up now. I was like,
I'm taking a sink too.
I'm trying to tell her, blah, blah, blah. And at this point, he didn't pay taxes. He did everything under the table. There was so many code violations and restaurant, like OSHA violations and everything. And then employee, like labor, fucking issues. And I was like, but before I even brought all that up, I was like, look, bitch, I'm going to go there. I'm already in my truck on the way to fucking fix it, but I'm charging you now. I was like, it's a weekend. And so that's double time. It's also charging you gas, and I got a tax on, I was like,
how bad do you
my
want that
time?
sink fixed, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I'm charging you for everything, and it all is double because it's the weekend, and I've already been over my hours, and it's an emergency call supposedly, and he didn't like that, and then they wanted to try to get like cute, and they were like, said something. I was like, I sent them just a screenshot of Missouri Labor Board and a message to them of an email to them of everything. I was like, you want me to hit send on this? And they were like, dude offered me money.
That's when you know it's good.
Yeah,
That's when you know it's hot.
Like offered me money. And I was like, yeah, I'll be up there within the hour. I never went up there.
I worked at a restaurant.
But that went crazy. I pulled my mom. I pulled a Kim Mitchell.
That's how you get Kim Mitchell shit done. I worked at a restaurant around here, and a lot of people say the guy who owned it, he owned like a shit ton of restaurants, like 4 or 5 around this area. And he was like a doctor, and you kind of tell he didn't care. So most people in the restaurant that was working was like, "Oh, this is money laundering." And then I left, and like 2 months later, I get a random Facebook message from a person who's got like a fake profile picture, like a very fake name, and it was just a video. And in our basement at that restaurant, it's somebody walking down, going to a box and pulling out like just an open box, and it's every single person that's ever worked there's fucking information, like social, all of it just out, which is not okay. And he was like, "Don't say who you got this from. Keep it going." Blah blah blah. And somebody I worked with, I don't know who it was. I'm pretty sure it's the kid who's dead now. But somebody got pissed off, and I've found that, sent it to a fucking reporter, and they went after this guy, this doctor, I think he was. We called him Doc, so that's what I'm assuming he was. And like now I know the place I used to work at isn't owned by him anymore. I don't know what happened after that, because I was like, I'm not getting fucking involved. Don't send me that shit. I don't care if people find my information anyways. Like, but it was, like
they'll see it and be like, meh.
They're like, you know what?
Let me help him out.
Yeah. If they're
I'm
taking
gonna dispute a couple of these fucking bills, these delinquent bills he's got. They'll have them fall off. What if there was some hackers out like there that did that? Like go in there and want to like steal your identity and do some good for
just
it.
Help you out.
You know.
Just a helping hand, because like
you had a lot of bills on there that had been collections. I knew that they would drop them if you just tried to dispute them. Went ahead and disputed them all for you.
They gone.
I also signed you up for a bunch of porn sites from North Korea.
There you go.
So you're on Xinjiang, or you're on Korea's watch list now.
You're in shape. You're good. Here you go. What was this fucking thing that Anonymous just did? That they talked about it for like 2 days, and then nobody talks about it anymore. They pretty much got the entire company's, like everything. And it was a hosting site. I can't remember what the hosting site was called, but it was known for hosting these like right-winged extremist and like even like crazy websites, and then like up to Fox crazy. And they got every single one of those websites information and just were like, "There you go, have at it." There's a lot of names in there. But then the backlash from it, though, is there's like a lot of dumbasses, not dumbasses, but people who start a website who are just like, "This is a good deal, okay." Like they didn't promote that they were a right-wing like hosting site. So like these people have there's like hamster.com. They just want to post pictures of their hamster. And now somebody's like, "Here's all the fucking coding to his website," or however that fucking works.
Okay.
But like, it's like the whole fucking company's information. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a lot of information. And then I heard about it for 2 days, and then somebody was like, "Hey, did you hear Joe Biden shit his pants?" And we're like, "Let's focus on that for a little bit."
Yeah, they're trying hard right now in the media. Something's going on. Like they don't have anything good, so something's gonna happen soon. Something big.
Over China.
No, I just mean like the media's always got something in it that's good to keep the busy. And since Trump's gone, they don't really have nothing anymore. So what they're doing is like every single news, because I got 3 that I pretty much will watch. I watch Breaking Points first thing. I usually do is Sanger and the Crystal Ball chick at Breaking Points, and I'll check them out. And then I check out The Hill sometimes if they got something that I like. But since Sanger and Crystal Ball started the Breaking Points, I don't really fucking with The Hill too much. They do some stories sometimes. I like the Asian chick that comes on there sometimes.
Yeah.
She's a little conspiratorial little ass. I like her. But yeah, and then I'll fucks with some of the RT shit. But depending on who you watch on RT, it's hard to that some are left, some are right.
I don't even know what the fuck RT is.
RT is where that Lee Camp's Redacted Tonight's on.
Oh, the Russian place.
Yeah, that's where Larry King went because they would give him freedom of like to do what he wanted.
Yeah.
Ben Swan. Who else went there? Rick Sanchez.
Yeah, he had some cool Larry King. He had like I watched an interview with
he was one of the biggest.
I watched an interview with Eric Anders, and that was incredibly interesting.
Who?
Eric Anders. The Eric Anders show on comedy.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I mean, he's a decently intelligent human being, but he's still very fucking weird, and so that it's just a weird like hour of conversation.
That's what Stephen writes, like all of his interviews. Kind of weird.
I like it sometimes. Other times, Stephen Wright, I liked it because like I kind of believe just him.
Yeah, he kept his like when he would do like Letterman and stuff like that. He'd stay in his stand up character, you know.
Which is,
you know, he either won or he wasn't nominated. I know for sure, but I think he won an Emmy for a movie he wrote.
I would put it past him. I knew he was.
And then he's in it, and
Yeah.
it's awkward.
Oh yeah.
It's a little different.
Have you ever watched a documentary about the Boston scene whenever he was coming up and like him going to Carson for the first time and everybody watching, and then like it just slowly creating this anger towards each other where it's like, when's my turn, and like it just didn't happen for some of the guys, and it's kind of sad, kind of fun. I can't remember what it's called, but it's all about the open mics they did at a Asian restaurant, like in the back, that just like Asian restaurant owner was just like, yeah, that's cool. Which are always the most fun mics.
Yeah.
That or house
I like
shows.
Big Daddy's is pretty cool. That upstairs little.
If it
It
gives
could be
you,
nice.
If it gives you that feel of like, oh, I'm seeing something cool, which that kind of gives, like, oh, this has got the backroom shit, that's cool, and then you go back and unfortunately you find out it's open mic comedy, and it's like, oh, this isn't cool at all. Like, this is terrible.
No, there's certain nights that there's
I always
nights that
have
we're
fun.
on.
I
Like,
have
there's certain
fun.
nights that we're on.
But like, I mean, I guess if you're going into it, you're seeing a show. It doesn't matter the mindset. But like, I feel bad for those people that go to bars and it's like, oh, there's open mic comedy going on right now.
Oh yeah.
Welp.
That's how it was the first time I went to. What was it, Wild Card Wednesday?
That's how it always is there. That's how that
at
is.
the Crow's Nest. Yeah, I felt bad more than anything.
I like it because the way it was put to me was it's like the game, not only the game, but like you're going to come across that bar in your career. You need to learn how to deal with it. So it's probably nice to have one weekly. I don't do it weekly. I haven't done it in months, but that's what I always liked about it was much harder. Like that first laugh wasn't my main focus anymore. It was just a laugh.
Yeah.
Which is, and I mean, the thing about that one is they're using, and this is no slight at them, they're one of the best mics, or longest running mics right now in St. Louis, is they're using the karaoke machine on like that one square stage kind of thing, and there just isn't much. And it might just be a busy bar where they don't give a fuck about comedy. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's just it's more of a comedian's mic because it's only comedians that are there to listen.
That's how I think improv shop is. It's just comedians.
I've never been there.
Really? It's
Never gone there. I heard when before COVID, I was gonna go check it out, and then they I never tried to sign up because I was always busy because I already had a schedule with my job and everything. And Jules, we were on a schedule. So that night that they had theirs, I never went.
the thing with that one is it's the first. I don't know if it's still that's how all the mics are lined up, but it was the first of two other mics, or three other mics. So it was them, Venice, and Heavy Anchor.
We could have a good scene here if we had more of if we could build a following. It's just like the scene out here. It's hard to That's the trick to being a stand-up comedian, is building a following. In my opinion, at this point in time, yeah, once you figure out
Oh yeah,
all the
absolutely.
basics, like
Look at the people that are like or not headlining, but they're getting the clubs, places, and stuff. You see them; they're not constantly, but they're saying like, "Hey, follow me here, follow me this," adding that shit, and like very adamant about getting people to almost sign up for their email list, like a comedy club would.
Yeah.
And I don't have much of a web presence.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there's just like I don't know. There is a, because I don't know. St. Louis just isn't good for, like, just think of what some of our top comedians performing right now. They go out and perform. Greg Warren.
Greg Warren, Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer has a following out here because she's been on like Joe
Yeah.
Rogan, and she's earned, like, she's fucking hilarious too.
Other than that, I mean, I don't really know, to be honest. But I'm not good at paying attention.
But yeah, I don't know many people out here that have a true following. I see Rafe is doing starting to do the tour again.
Mm-hmm. I just listened to his CD not long ago.
Is it any good?
Oh yeah,
Is he clean?
ish. I mean, it's not.
That's why. Yeah, I remember somebody being like, "Yeah, he was cleaner. He's a family could listen.
Yeah,
Like I
wouldn't mind if like my kids heard it or something, which is okay with me.
It's not that I'm not interested.
It's just
but
hard.
I'm not interested.
I get it. I don't want to see a PG-13 movie. Like, I get that.
Yeah, I've seen some good ones, I guess. But yeah,
course.
no,
You've
there's like
seen
it's just
fucking,
not natural because I'm used to everybody speaks in a fuck this, fuck that. They can't naturally talk.
What's that guy's name? The number one clean comedian, Brian Regan.
Yeah.
That's just who I think he. That's how I think he talks.
Yeah, there are guys like that,
Yeah.
like Rob Durham, but that's not how I am.
No, yeah.
That's not what
I do notice a lot more people, like, I hear a lot of people that outside of the comedy scene that even know some of the comics in St. Louis are just like, oh, I don't know, he's too clean for me. And it's like,
no one's too clean for me. I enjoy any of them.
But it's like, it seems like
it's just I'm not going out of my way.
More people now they want these Bill Burrs, they want these Dave Chappelle's and stuff, which are great. They're fine. But like, I just want silly. Just be silly for me.
It's all all the stars have been the big controversial ones. Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh yeah, but like
Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, Richard Pryor's, Sam Kinison, George Carlin. All of them were
very good
wild.
Point. That's a very good point.
Look at the top guys. And
is that what you want to be? He's the top guy?
I'm not worried about being a top guy. I'm not worried about being a guy even in the I'll be happy if I can make it to where I can replace if I can replace my income with, like Nick Lacer had said when he was here. I was like, what's making it to you? He's like, if I can make minimum wage, if I could get minimum wage, yearly salary of whatever, $725 times 40 a week times 52 weeks.
If I could do this, living miserably, but only doing this, making a living doing it, the rest is gravy, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, after that, like if I get to the point where like all I have to do is comedy, I fucking made it. Yeah. Then what the fuck am I worried about? Like,
because a lot of people put money or some stipulation to it. I gotta get on Joe Rogan. I gotta make I gotta get on to Tonight Show, or I gotta get a Netflix special.
All these things would be nice, but I'll just kind of because.
It's become a really saturated scene too, the comedy, as far as anybody. I've seen people that have only been doing comedy for, 1 or 2 years, and they're wanting to put out try to do a special and go out on the road and do all this crazy shit, and they don't even know the basics yet. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
I've been asked to go on the road twice by 2 different comics that it's like, I've been doing this longer and I'm nowhere near to be even asked to go on the road, and you're asking me to, like, you're just, don't do that. Like,
you
do
need to get your shit together though, because I've been looking at booking some road trips.
I could probably, like, if it was me and you, I could do it now. But if it's like with a comic who I know probably isn't ready for the road, I don't know if I want to go on tour when it's their tour. Like, that would just be, oh, you don't know what you're doing setting up a tour, and now I'm stuck in Indiana, and that's the last place anybody wants to be stuck in because I'm from there. It's terrible.
I don't. Go lay down, buddy. I don't know. I don't know how to set up a tour. I've never done it. I'm gonna reach out once I've got a decent.
But if anybody's new is gonna figure it out, it's you. So.
Yeah, I've got an idea. I've researched it and everything. It's just like being a manager. I've really looked into being management for a few, wanting to try to be a manager, or at least giving me a chance to see if I can do what a manager does for a comedian. Just help them get them booked, managing their schedule, making sure they're not getting double booked, making sure that people are giving them a contract that's legit.
Maybe I'll bust my ass these next 4 or 5 years. And
I was talking to Purdy.
That's
not Purdy. Precious.
Precious.
She's asked me about it.
So fucking good.
Yeah, she is. I would definitely be a manager for someone like her, but see, the thing about me is I don't have the connections.
Yeah,
I don't know the connections and shit. I don't have the.
I think all it would be is just numbers game at that point. Just go schmooze as many people as you fucking can. Sooner or later, you're gonna get enough, and then you don't have to schmooze no more.
Yeah, you do that, but then your comedian has to fucking bang it.
Pick the right comedian.
Yeah.
Invest who you trusted.
Yeah, that's what the manager is supposed to be, like a person that truly believes in what you do, and believes that you're gonna make it. And everyone thinks a manager does all this shit in like the fucking offices and stuff. No, the manager makes sure all the guys, like the accountant in the office, the lawyer, that the retainer for the lawyer's paid, the accountant's taken care of, and the manager's reporting everything correctly to the accountant. The people that take care of transportation, that all that's taken care of, and they've got it right and correctly, and everyone's on the same page. You're just pretty much managing all the other tasks: the wardrobe, your travel, your room and board, your fucking. You personally should take care of your finances. Your accountant and your lawyers is something you and the manager should sit down and go over everything, and you should personally have your own relationship with them if this is something you're actually doing. But yeah, and then your tax person, all that, the manager makes sure that that's all good, because comedians are they just think, well, as long as I'm funny. It's like, no.
I think the only other comedy job outside of doing comedy that I would want to do is own a venue. Like
I would, dude.
I want to own
so
a venue.
many times about how I could fucking get a venue.
Well, here's the venue I want to own is like the Rehab Theater from that documentary. That is my favorite comedian's documentary. But the story that's told, like, in between that whole special, is that guy that theater is an old church that was just abandoned, and he pretty much stole the keys to and started fixing it up. It was just telling people he owned it, and eventually it worked out. Like, that idea is like, taking a church or something like that and just turning
squatter rights. Is that what he got?
Like, just turning it into like what I want. Like, I want it to be like this underground punk scene style of like the in place to be. We weren't booking people, we were booking people that were funny though. And then I got
a lot of emails. I got a list of comics from out of town that want to perform here.
And that would be fucking great.
But and some of them are really funny. It's just I ain't got the. I'm not putting on a show until I can find a great venue, and the owner wants me to do the show. I'm not gonna go out and beg anybody anymore. I've done that. Those don't work when the company. If it's not something that the bar wants, and they're just they're thinking, we'll see what it'll do. Yeah. Let's see what they can do. Then it's pretty much all on you. Like you said, they don't fucking help out with anything.
None of them will. They will never do that. That's all I've ever learned from
students. They may share it on Facebook or something.
Every comic I've ever told that's ran a show after I got out of Comedy Swamp and said that was my biggest complaint. They're like, oh, that's everybody.
Yeah,
that's every place. They do not care. You're lower than karaoke night to them. Like, to
I
them,
rarely see anything for even. I think the only people out here that really promote and host, like push their shows, is the helium for the big ones. I see that in my email because I'm on that email list, and then Facebook, if I ever get on there, it's on there, and then Instagram is on there. I don't hardly ever see anything for the Funny Bone and who's performing at the Funny Bone. And it's usually the comedians post that I see.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, I don't see.
The helium puts a collage, like 3 or 4 on there with dates.
I wonder if Funny Bones is kind of, they don't naft.
Have you been to the new one yet?
Uh-uh.
I've heard a lot of people that said it was nice, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to check it out. I signed up.
That St. Charles pisses me off, though.
Yeah, I've been signing up for them. I know. So I don't know. I haven't been wanting to go there because I get where like Scott and Max and the people that are there that run it all the time and the kind of shit they have to deal with. And
it's a big sign-up list.
That, and there's a big reason that we don't have. You know, when you go to the Comedy Store and their open mics, they have decent comedians on the open mics and like shows all night long, all day and all night. There's stuff going on that's comedy orientated, and it's all funny because they have
stable.
They have the comedians, like Max was saying. People, we need to put on more shows and do more. You know, how do I say this without hurting? There's a lot of comedians that sign up. They let on a lot of people that at a prime spot, I guess, at nighttime. That usually those night spots would be, if you go to L.A. or something to the Comedy Store, that night spot's going to be where you see the big boys working on shit. Here it would be Greg Warren. Yeah. It'd be Rob Durham. It'd be Scott James. It'd be who else is out there? It would be Precious. It would be like there's a decent list of comedians out there, and I'm not saying we couldn't get it. It'd be Nick Kuvar. It'd be fucking Quentin. There's a lot of us. I would even think now at this point, now that I've confidently went and did 45 minutes. And I've been working on crowd work a lot.
I don't know
how I think I can handle it.
I honestly don't know why you're not getting booked more places. Well, no, you're getting a lot.
I'm getting not a lot. Got on with the shows I've gotten with. I got one with Tim Laws. Those are all the shows I've been doing with Tim Laws. And then, well, no, I did get those. I got the show because I let those dudes from Chicago that
blow you
run the Zanies or whatever it is.
That's pretty dope.
They run the Sunday night show at Zanies.
I'd send them a video. I mean, I don't even send them a video. Just be like, hey, yeah, but at Zanies. Go do it Zanies.
I know that. I let them stay here and everything. So
it's like, hey, you don't really need to send them a video. You could just be like, how about you let me perform, or here's my bill.
No, I'm pretty sure I can go there and they'll let me get on one of their
Chicago?
Mics. Yeah. That's where they're from.
Fucking go to Chicago. I got a lot of people
that's what I've been working on. I met a guy the other night from L.A. that's a comedian. That
I don't want to go to L.A. I mean, I would, but I don't want to go.
Well, he's from Long Beach, but
I'm not a California gal. Been there one time. Beautiful. But it was because I was way up north in the fucking Emerald Triangle.
How do you know if you like it or not if you've only been to one place in California?
Because everything that it embodies California is just like, I don't feel comfortable around. Not because they're not bad people. They're doing their thing. But like,
I really like different. Seattle. Seattle is the one I like
Seattle.
the most. They're still caught up amongst they have their own, like, their nose is in the air a little bit. Like everyone that's in California thinks they're best because they live in California.
Fine. That's not even my big thing about them. It's just they're all there for one thing, and to get there, they're doing other, like, so is stand-up. Besides, your core stand-ups that everybody know, a lot of those stand-ups aren't there to be stand-ups. They're there to be famous.
Yeah, no, stand-ups are...
That's a lot of extra fucking competition you don't need.
I've been saying since I started this, Texas. Texas. Some of the best comedians that came out of Texas. You got Sam Kinison. You got what's his name? Conspiracy theorist. Fuck, why am I forgetting his name? They say he's Alex Jones. They say that's who he supposedly died, and that's Alex Jones. Bill Hicks.
Oh, Bill Hicks. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Bill Hicks.
Ralphie
Sam
May.
Kinison, Ralphie May, all those outlaws, the Texas comedy outlaws or whatever they called themselves.
Yeah.
Like
That's gonna be, and then Ohio with Dave Chappelle's comedy club opening.
yeah, I just think that's gonna be a big event. Shows like I don't know. Maybe he's gonna do something. I don't know what the Ohio comedy scene's like.
I do like one of my favorite I'll shout it out. Whatever, Hot Breath podcast.
I've met him once. I didn't
Talk to-
meet him. Like
Talked to him on Facebook. It was cool.
yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
Messenger.
I think I seen it. I think it was the Funny Bone. Before COVID
Yeah,
or right around COVID. I don't know. I can't remember.
but he did a podcast with well, he was local Andrew Frank, and like the whole thing is about Andrew Frank's whole. I guess I would say his career has been all DIY, very him doing it himself, and he's in Seattle right now, and like that was really like I dug that, like where he's like you can do this from any city with like a decent enough scene. You don't have to go to these places. You could do this doing it like. I mean,
But on your show, on doing your just that's kind of.
He did Fringe Fest a couple years ago, which was over in fucking Scotland or something like that. Like, and like, I mean, he's a good comic, and
well, that's why I haven't signed up for the Funny Bone or the Helium. Me and Mike Tobin have somewhat of a pretty good relationship, I would think, and I thought he thought I was funny, but he hasn't ever booked me for anything.
that's
since they've opened back up.
Seriously, something I would bring up.
I'm not gonna bring nothing up to him about that. That's nothing. It's
not
his
bad,
company.
Not mad. Just be like, hey, can I get booked?
Club.
I mean, that's the only way he's going to think about it.
No, I don't want to. I don't want somebody to do that until like I said, that's why I haven't signed up for the Funny Bones and anything. Because when I finally go in there, I'm gonna go in there and give my tight 4 or whatever they give you, and blow the fucking doors off or bomb really hard.
But I mean, even if you do it the first time, they're still not going to know you. They're not going to care because they've seen it. You have to do it consecutively. Is what I've been told. Is like if they're not going to get. They're not even going to know who you are until they want to.
They know who I am now.
Well, that's probably for other.
I'm talking about right at our Funny Bone.
Yeah,
like,
I know. That's
Scott and them
for
know
other,
of me.
Well, no, not them, but like the guy who books the actual shows, the owner and stuff. This is what I've been told. I don't know. I'm lying. I could be lying.
Oh, I thought Scott had a lot to do with the.
He might. I have no fucking clue what goes on in that fucking black magic hole.
Yeah, because I've been there when he's gotten what's his name to come on and do I forget who he was asking. He has somebody. I think it was Cody.
Yeah.
Or somebody. Yeah, it was because he'll sit there with like Max and Ronaldo and his old lady Megan, and they'll talk. I've seen it. I've seen when they just talk about who they want to pick and everything, and I get that, but I don't want to go in there until I can kill it. And they're like, oh shit, he's been working on some shit, obviously. And if it takes a few times going in there and killing it, that's fine. I'll do that. But I don't want to go in there and waste anybody else's time anymore. Like
waste anybody's time, though. It's an open mic. That's what it's there for.
It's a waste of my time, though, too.
I don't think so.
It is when there's a better mic to go to.
Can you not hit both of those?
No.
That sucks. That always sucks.
I could. Yeah, I guess you could because Word Up starts so late. But I always try to get early on the Word Up list. I always try to hit like 5 or 6 or 8 is my sweet spot. For some reason, every time I'm open mics, I like 8.
That's kind of why I would like to just go to New York for a little bit. Just I want to see what night after night I could just mic after mic after mic after mic because like that's.
I've been told people at like your level could go to New York, and once you get a little recognition, like they see what level you can perform at, you can go do $5, $6, $25, $30 to $45, $50 shows a day.
And I also feel like I'm at the level now to where
that might not be true.
I could leave here, go there, and I would just interject at the same level. Like, because I'm not too far from the bottom level. Like, I'm not saying I'm bad. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, like, in the greater scheme of things, like, I'm still fairly new to this shit. And so, like, I could sneak in, but I mean, I'll toot my own horn. I'm pretty good at it when I get at it.
No, you, dude. When I seen you at the back door when they first opened, I remember coming up and meeting you for the first time because you fucking crushed it. You crushed it like you did with that night at the Helium with the video you got. Like You
Dude,
crushed it.
Oh my God. To this day, it haunts me. I was told, like, that first video, that's my first comedy competition at Helium. My second year, I was told by another comic, I should have asked, that they were filming it again. To this day, the best set I've ever had. Like, it was perfect. And I walked off stage and I was like, can't wait to get the fucking video of that. I kind of looked where the camera was last year and it was like, there's not a fucking camera there.
Yeah,
and it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
It wasn't even light.
But like, dude, I went out and it was like, it was one of those ones where people were coming up to me and they're like, that was a real professional comedian set. Like, and I haven't touched it since. But it's like, if I had that on video, dude, I would look so much better to everybody else.
I couldn't get video of when I was at the Coach's Corner out in Salem or whatever, and I got to close the show or headline it because Tim's old lady, I guess, got COVID and he had a quarantine. So I went and we had to do 2 hours, 120 minutes or whatever, and the one guy did about 20 and the other kid did about 30. Or no, he probably did 45. I don't know. I know I ended up doing like 45 strong and then 15 minutes of talking with the crowd and shit, which is still doing comedy, but it was more. But it was so great because I got a bar scene like at Bobby's place that one night. I got all of them to be quiet. Like they were like, "What is this motherfucker saying?" Like, hold on.
I know only one speaker works, but I'll listen
and stay quiet. That
good.
was like. It
cool.
Really pulled in a crowd, and just did well. When I came out there and I knew they were noisy, so I wanted to grab their attention. I hit them with usually most comedians will start with softer material and work their way to the darker. I hit them with a one-liner that's just the most like an abortion or pedophile. Like we're like, hold up, did this motherfucker just say that?
He's starting with pedophilia?
Yeah, and then I hit them with another one, and then once I got their attention, and I'll go into talking, and you get their.
I don't really have anywhere to go because I shoot out the gate with meth. Right out the gate.
Yeah.
No matter what. Well, not no matter what, but as for the.
I don't know. Yeah, I see you're different, much different style comic than me.
But
it's hard for me to figure out and try to help a guy like you or even Quentin or something to be like, I tell you, make sure you got one really good, great, strong opener because all you need is those first few laughs, that first laugh, and then you'll ride that through the whole show.
When I fucking get that meth bit to like just, I'm gonna be unfucking baby. But it's gonna be great.
You got it down. You just need more bits now. It always flames out after that.
There's just a lot of it to like. There's stuff that I used to do with it that I liked more than I'm doing now. That it's like I get
playing with it, but you can play with it, but you need to create another good one like that.
Well, I have cat call. I have. That's probably it. No, yeah, weed's been doing good. The fucking.
Yeah. That was a good one.
The one I haven't done in a while was the meth dealer and weed dealer.
Your weed dealer joke is really good.
But then it's like, I look at those and it's like, dude, you talk about drugs.
They tell you to do what you know. I avoided doing drugs and weed jokes for the first year and a half. And then finally, everyone tells you to write what you know. And I know people hate hearing that, especially a drug addict comic.
It's how you should write.
Yeah, but like, it's more... that's what you know, and you did smoke meth when you know.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
You did smoke meth, and you know it. So
God, I did.
You can come with an insight, and then you can find the people that are really laughing that can understand it. And it's like
clapping.
That's like that person does meth too.
Yeah. I'm looking at that person right now, just chewing not gum.
Yeah. But that's what you also, I think, need to be able to realize in a crowd. What if you have a higher intelligence of a crowd that's never done meth? And then they're like, they're just not under, because I've seen you have those crowds.
Dude, it's tough. Because it's like, once I realize, like, oh shit, like, because that's, it's like, if you're not going to do that, you're not going to like my silly. Like,
that's not true. It's not true. You gotta.
the thing
That
is
cat
like
call bit will get you laughs. That's pretty.
the cat call. It's like I know in my head it's like make your mother's friends laugh. You can make these people laugh, and it's like I could do that. I know what I could. I
That's
know
not
I
true
could do
because there's a
that.
different crowd all the time. Your mother's friends aren't there every time.
No, but it's like
sometimes it's your
stereotypical
brother's
people that
friends.
it's like, oh, dude, no, that I'll crush that. That's fine. That's my friends. That's who I grew up with. But like
Sometimes it's all comics.
I don't give a shit about those people.
And the worst fans.
Oh,
The worst crowd.
Don't get me wrong. It's the worst feeling in the world when you get no laughs in front of all comics. But at the same time, as you're walking off, you're like, at least I could tell myself, I don't give a shit.
That's one thing I do like about the back door too, is when all the comics there, when you do a set, it's a lot of comics do laugh and be cool. They're not like too brutal.
I know my set's going good whenever I hear Koovies laugh at some weird interjection at least twice, and it's like, okay, this is moving along smoothly.
Yeah, when you hear Koovy's voice, I need to get him back on here.
I mean, his girl's fun too. Fun. This girl's
she's cool as shit.
I've
always, every time we don't like hang out ever, but I've anytime I see her and Koo, like she always makes sure to say hi. She's just really nice. She's really sweet.
I see them every Sunday, and probably funnier than Koovy, to be honest. Girl's got wheels.
Yeah, Koovy's fucking killing it lately.
He's just so fucking.
What? He's so fucking.
I love him. Like he's just. He wrote a sketch once that like, and this is what I love about him is as he's reading the sketch, the glee in his eye and like the glee in his eyes, and the just like the pure joy, but you could. It was dripped in his stand-up, like that silly, just almost dad joke. I don't want to say dad joke, but like
all my clean stuff is just my clean jokes are dad jokes.
But like I love it, and so like hearing his sketches, it's just like, of course, it's gonna get stupid. Like it's gonna get really dumb. Where
like you know why you've never seen an Olympian lesbian runner? She's not supposed to run with scissors. Just shit like that.
I think you told me that the other day, and I still am shocked by how good that joke is.
I've done it a few different ways. I talked about my cousin coming out of the closet and really worries me because she's a runner and you're not supposed to run with scissors. And I've tried it different ways. I'm still tying it down.
What's the best street joke you know? Like three blondes walk into a bar. Like anytime somebody's like, I know a joke, and they're not a comic, and they tell you a joke. That's
yeah. I've written one. Actually, John Maddie had to tell me that I had some of my jokes were sounding like street jokes, and I needed to change up a little bit. And it was a kind of a realization.
What were they?
It was three Irish kids just graduated and walked into the bar. I'll finish the story when they leave.
I mean,
when they finally leave, because they drink a lot.
It's kind of a cool like take on, because it's not a street joke, but it takes that format and then it does something a little different. I don't know. Tell John Maddie to stop saying street jokes to sound cool like me. All right? He's got a kid now. He doesn't get to say cool shit.
Dude, this is funniest fucking video. It's on that phone that I sent John, and it's when your bro has a new baby.
Oh yeah, the kid's just mad. Like he's like, man, fuck your kids.
Yeah, he's like, yo, get your boy Zane. He's like,
just call my kid a bitch. Like he is being a bitch. All right.
I will fuck your kid up.
Why is he fucking looking at me like that? You got beef, son. Dude, when my friends have kids, I like to go out with because my friends can't be good parents. They're my friends. This is a really dumb setup to a really dumb joke, but here we go. Payoff coming. I like to stand. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm sorry, that joint toasted me up a little bit. I was going in for something, started watching you grab soda, mesmerized, and then forgot what the fuck I was talking about. I think Rush Hour 3?
Yeah.
Maybe 2? You liked the Apollo shit, right? That's what you grew up watching. The rough comedians.
Apollo.
See, that explains a little bit. Like I grew up like the Night at the Apollo.
Apollo and Death Jam.
Yeah, no wonder you like fucking a
Comedy
little
Jams
dirtier
was-
comedy. The comedy you grew up watching was life or death. Like you either made it or you kill yourself. Like
Yeah.
it's terrible.
That's why I never tried comedy sooner. I remember really writing comedy when John Matty fucking started, and I was like, because one of my other best friends performs with Antonio. You know, he's a performer and putting on shows and all that
Yeah.
shit. And I was like, dude, you used to be one of the. I felt like and thought I was a more talented like athlete. I started more than they did. Let's just put it that way, because John's a fucking baller, and so is Antonio.
I'll take him in the paint. It's okay.
I will. I think
Hey,
I will
look.
take. I think I can beat. I think I can beat Antonio. And
You got
John
that little
as well.
like fucking what's his name? Not Dwight Howard. Who is that fucking little tiny point guard?
Chris Paul.
Yeah, look at that little Chris Paul about you, like fucking.
Or Stockton. Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. I can. I'm just. My defense is more than anything.
Oh, I'm a monster on D. Don't get me wrong. You're not getting past me.
I bet you are a monster on the D.
I play basketball too. Yeah, penises is what we're talking about.
But no, yeah, I was a really good defensive player. That's what I was really good at. And when I played ball for high school, is I never stopped. Like, I have really great long game. Like I never slowed down, but I don't have the greatest shot. I didn't, especially in high school. I didn't have the greatest shot. I could drive the fuck out of the lane though, and I had a lot of assists because I'll drive the lane, and in high school, all the kids collapse on you and try to swat you, and they leave my center right down there. So I just act like I'm going up, and then just drop it to my center, and he'll usually get it and draw a foul.
It's called Texas Switch.
But that was that, and then I could drive the fuck out of a lane and set up plays, but I was better on defense, especially like a 1-3-1 trap D. That was my favorite setup.
That's just a classic Bobby Knight fucking defense. Hard nose, get in your face. Come on, I'll throw a chair across. Have you ever seen that video of Bobby Knight throwing a chair?
Mm-mm.
Do you know who Bobby Knight is? He's a famous Indiana basketball coach.
Hoosiers coach.
Mm-hmm. And he was a fucking. If you watch, he might still be alive. I'm not sure, but like in like the 2000s and shit, he was one of like the March Madness guys, kind of stockier, gray hair, seemed like a psycho. There's a famous clip. He's going nuts. I can't remember what happens. I think somebody gets teed up. It's bullshit. This dude's going like losing his shit. Grabs a chair, tosses her mid court, and like I mean he's been tossed probably 20 minutes prior to this. I'm not gonna lie, but like that was his shit. Like he was like, okay, like I'm gonna scream at my players, and then if you fuck them, I'm throwing a chair. And like, but I love like those, especially post game videos, but like college intensity sports, like players and coaches, like those after like post game interviews where they're fucking hyped, dude. That's a beauty in human you don't see. Allen Iverson going, practice? You're talking about practice? Not a game. You're talking about practice. And it's like, God damn. Like, I love that shit. Fuck.
Yeah, they get, yeah, I don't know. I could never do those like, ask me what like why everything went. I don't know, motherfucker. I'm a player. I am not a coach. You better ask the coach for some inspirational quotes, bitch, because I'm not going to sit here and talk about myself and then have to walk back to the locker room and look at all these motherfuckers like, oh, you didn't mention me?
Yeah.
You didn't say nothing? You don't think my 32 assists didn't do nothing for the game, bitch? Pass the ball, Kobe. Come on, Kobe, pass the ball.
Y'all know Scottie Pippen's name too, huh? I was a captain on a rugby team, and I was no need to be captain. There was no reason I should. I was just good. And they were like, you'll lead the team. And it was like, being good, maybe. But I was like, other than that, I'm not. We'd be down by 1 point. I'd be like, well, fuck it. Let's go home. Like, let's pack it up.
I'm going to have to see a video clip of you playing rugby because I just don't believe it.
This was...
After seeing you in the work field.
This was high school?
Out of breath after you wrestling your penis out of your pants.
This is high school before I was ever fat and before I ever did, like, hard drugs. I was a really talented athlete at a lot of things.
I played baseball, basketball. And then I found out when I moved to the beach and started working at this restaurant that was like a bunch of soccer players there. And I was really good at soccer that
Really
I
good.
didn't know. Like I went out there and they're like, dude, you never played? And I was like, never.
Same shit.
And it's like, we used to call y'all grass fags. Like that
Yeah.
was what
Yeah.
we called you. And I was a court fairy, and then the wrestlers were the pad fags, or no, the mat fags, and then we had the football players were the pad fags. Or
You guys were a very homophobic high school. Jesus.
No,
No,
that
it's
was
just
what
people calling each other. Yeah, I grew up.
Well,
I knew
you
it.
know, each of us had our own glory hole, and sometimes, you know, the soccer
We
players.
didn't
really
have our
knew how
own.
to-
There's
Yeah,
just
like,
one.
no.
Everybody used it.
No, we knew.
It was
well,
just glory hole. It was just
each
soccer
glory
hour.
hole had, you know, if you played soccer, you were in the soccer glory hole, and then the wrestlers.
Everybody
had
got some at one whole Dan is what we called
Everyone
it.
got ringworm at the same time.
Goddamn right we did. As a team, as a unit, we were Spartans.
Maybe no I, but there's an E and an M, and that spells me if you flip that shit or something.
Something like that. So rugby was pretty close to soccer. Same field except for the nets. It's H field goalpost. Same kind of equipment except we don't wear shin pads. We can, but
We're more of a lacrosse setup, right?
no, there's no helmet. There's no
helmet.
There's nothing. You're wearing short sleeves, usually a collared shirt. You carry a ball like this.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
toss
yeah. I
it
know.
backwards.
But y'all don't even have knee pads.
No, you can again.
Yeah.
I taped mine. I was iffy on a cup, 50-50, depending on what was going on that day.
Oh, I'm wearing a cup, homie.
If it was raining, I'm not, because I'm not touching the ball that much anyways. What I do, I'm kicking it immediately. So I didn't have to do much of any tackling or anything. Cups are wide. That fucks with your stride a little bit. And my job was to be fast. And I was fast. Boy, I was fast.
You never went to that section, you know, because they make more than just those wide ass. They make like these material composite ones.
They
That were
didn't
just
have
like
that shit
boxer
back
briefs.
then yet.
That's the
Like-
motherfucker I was in school at the same time.
Well, then I was looking at the wrong motherfucking spot.
That's what I'm
'Cause it
saying.
was
They
like-
made some decent because basketball players wear them.
And I got to the point where I think I was just like, why not? I'm already going to get hit. It's already going to hurt anyways.
It's like I'm kind of into it.
I might as well get something out of it.
Have you
Like,
seen that shit? Those dudes that are into that being stomped on and they get dildoed down their pee-pee
why?
hole.
Yeah, the fucking got a doc.
Sandbox?
Whatever that is. That's the search or the website or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it is. Where everybody found out what is that called? There's a name to it. Sounding? I think it's sounding.
Is it? It sounds.
I believe it's sounding. Yeah, that's one of those ones that'll fucking catch you
Doug, like I did.
you off guard.
I never realized like my first STD checkup and that experience
That's a
with the
gnarly
Q-tip.
experience.
That showed me right there that it doesn't. There is no.
That'll show you Jesus right there.
This will take down the biggest man,
God,
any man,
damn.
like that right there.
that
will
alone should just make you wear condoms so you don't
Yeah.
just.
And she tricked me. She got me. I
Got
didn't
to.
know about it. Like I knew I was gonna have to get like my nuts played with and inspected and shit. So
That's just gravy.
yeah. So like, when I went and did it, I'm sitting there and it's kind of like this. I'm up on this bed, and then there's the sink and the cabinets and everything, and that section's open. And I'm sitting there, and she's taking the physical while I'm sitting up on the bed, and she tells me to step down. And she's like, all right, here's the whatever part. She's like, I'm going to need you to go ahead and disrobe or whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. And she's like, all right, stand over here. And she put me in the corner. And then she put her arm up right here.
That's what you should have known.
And she grabbed my fucking pecker like this and had her elbow like that, my pecker like that. And then she moved this arm. And it was just like I was tied in there. And
Got pretzeled up.
She had it like she was a pro at it. She had like the hit of my dick. Whoop, whoop.
Dude,
Swabbed it. And I didn't know it was. She just went. I just remember grabbing her shoulders and going, oh.
hardest you've ever came.
No.
See, that's
And then
like
the next pee was like,
yeah.
it was horrible.
it's cotton. That's like day one Planned Parenthood college training is they just pretzel you up, get it in the dick hole, and like because that's, I mean, you even if you surprise grab my dick in that setting, I'm a raccoon at that point. I'm fucking wild.
No, well, I knew she was gonna be inspecting my dick. I just didn't know that she was gonna be fucking sticking a Q-tip down it until because she had it set up on there. I wasn't thinking about the stuff she had set up.
My ear.
Yeah, something like that. And no, it went. She grabbed that motherfucker, and she's like, because she first inspects it and everything, feels the testes a little bit.
That's always the best part because you're like, yeah, it does look great, doesn't it? And they're like, I've seen.
She flipped it up like that. And grabbed it. Well, it was more like this,
Yeah.
I got a little teeny tiny dick. And at that point, I'm not paying attention to this hand and the arm going up and her elbow there and like hit.
Punch her in the back of the head. She's used to it. She's been like, yeah, I've been hit before. Probably hit you back. I mean, if she's pretzeling grown men up like that, shit. She didn't even.
She had me cornered like there was no escape. She knew what was up. I was like, fuck.
You an airbender?
Yeah, it just showed me that we ain't that tough.
No.
This little piece of cotton. This little piece of cotton.
There's somebody I know who's like a big fan of Betty White, and they always say, well, who isn't? But there's a quote apparently Betty White has where she's like, I don't know why we always say pussy. Like that stretches and gives life. Like balls, however, you blow on them and down.
Yeah,
and so it's like, why aren't we saying like, man, you're you're ballsy. That wouldn't work.
It's true.
I mean, look, you got to come at him. You got to come at him like, introduce yourself if you want to touch my balls. Because those are my rusty peaches are fucking sensitive as fuck.
Oh, yeah, no.
You got to ask me, then them.
Have you ever had a girl like pluck them thinking when you were younger? Like she's learning about, like she doesn't really know much about them, but like she just.
Flick them?
Yeah, like just fucking with your nuts.
No. That's the most disrespectful thing that could ever happen.
Girls do that.
What?
They were just like, they never. I'm a firm believer in like naked Sundays and shit.
Yeah, I mean.
When I wasn't working every day, but. I would lay around and ball naked, and me and a couple girls, when I was younger, they'd never done that with a guy, and when they did, it was like they just lay there and be like, really, some of them would be really interested in my penis. They just never seen that something that's small and hairy.
It's like, what is that?
Is that Earthworm Jim's head? Earthworm Jim, I loved that video.
I know, it's a great fucking reference.
I gotta get that. I got the Super Nintendo.
That would be a good fucking two-person podcast. We just get stoned and play Super Nintendo and no one watches. But I'd watch.
What do you mean? They live stream Twitch.
We could do that. We could probably do that. I don't see why we couldn't do that.
We could play video games, like old school cool games, and just talk shit about them.
Yeah, we could absolutely.
You could do your skits, your bits on it. We're going tomorrow to find Super Nintendo outlet game store.
I think I have a Sega. And if not, that would probably take, unless we went to a Micro Center, but they have we just build one on a Raspberry Pi that will have every single game from every single shitty console, or not shitty, old console.
Yeah, we'll have to get it to where I can hook up there's a way we can hook the sound up and the everything through the Zoom so it's professional quality.
And I mean, after that, I don't see why we're not famous, and we should be able to buy a helicopter by the end of the year.
Let's see if we can find some fucking.
I grew up Sega, and PlayStation.
Sega was that was Sonic. The Aladdin game was my shit.
Motherfucker.
What else was there? The Street Fighter.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat. No, that was more Super Nintendo.
Oh, that was Sega too.
I played NHL 95 a lot. That got brutal.
NBA 98 Jam was my shit.
Jam's Tournament, heating up. Boom, shakalaka. I think I said in my last set, he has Razzle Dazzle. Like, that game was my shit. Then I played a little fucking Mario, Luigi.
I've got Super Mario Brothers.
2 people I would not send after a kidnapped princess Italian plumbers. Especially wearing single colored like that. Colored over like, did you mean to do red and green? Whatever. Go find her. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm just gonna rant on Mario right now.
And that dumb bitch is always getting caught. I forget what comedian talks about that. She's always getting caught and shit. She's like, eventually you're gonna be like, fuck that.
I know. Like, we got pipes to fucking do. Like, there's a sewage problem.
I got a company around, bitch.
I was trying to find a way to make this joke work, but it was how everybody calls Zelda Link, or Link Zelda, I guess. And it's like, no, Zelda's the princess. No, Frankenstein's the doctor. Because if the book's called Frankenstein, everyone's like, oh, that's Frankenstein. It's like, no, that's the doctor's name. It's Dr. Frankenstein. And then apparently nobody on my Facebook has ever read a fucking book. Or that wasn't funny.
Well, they don't have like a Slackers out here anymore.
No, I don't think.
GameStop doesn't sell the Super Nintendo.
I think are there malls? Do malls exist anymore? What the fuck? I'm not that old. I'm 30. I know malls exist. They're cool. They're hip. Did you ever go roller skating? I did
a lot of roller
skate rink.
Yeah.
Friday night, Saturday night,
yeah,
middle school, singles dance, skate, the limbo. Never good at it. Always tried.
I was always a G.
Of course, you just limbo under.
All right, V-Stock. Where's that? Trading Games, Finn. Their website, web mentions. Where's their website then?
I know that CD Reunion. Well, that's out in St. Charles.
Oh, I know where that's at. Oh, they do. Are they still open though?
Are they open now?
No. Not right now.
How's that joint going?
It's out.
All right, now it's time for our trivia question of the night. I'm going to ask a question, and our first person to answer it correctly in the comment section will win something. Just thought of this now.
What? Who's in the audience?
And nobody's in the audience, but if people watch it, then they answer it in the comment section.
Oh, okay. I don't get many people watching.
No, I don't think many people are going to watch it or give us an answer to this question because they're probably not going to make it this far. But the question is, in the first podcast me and Brad did together, what color shirt was I wearing?
What color shirt were you wearing?
Mm-hmm.
Yellow?
Nope. Why would you answer?
I'm looking for Earthworm Jim, motherfucker.
Earthworm Jim.
Instruction manual.
So I bought the South Park video game.
Huh?
I bought the South Park video game again. Not again, but I had it back on PlayStation like years and years ago. And I guess I never got to this point, or I forgot it, but there's a scene where you're in a Planned Parenthood and you're supposed to be fighting. It's effective. Somehow it ends up Randy is in the bed to get an abortion, and your shrink down character is now underneath his balls, and you're fighting one of the bad guys, but every now and then his ball sack swings back. So you do all this, right? You win, and then you come out, you're full size in that room, and all of a sudden you have to give Randy an actual abortion. So you have, like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm doing this on my computer, and it's like, the fuck is going on right now? Like, this is so fucked up.
That does sound fucking nuts, dude.
And, like,
is that real?
No, that's absolutely real. It's in the first video, the first Stick of Truth. I mean, the game's hilarious, but there's moments where it's like, oh, they're not on TV anymore, and they know it. They very much know it because you just gave Randy an abortion. Like, it's very fucking gross.
All right, well, we can. I do actually. I had a few things jotted. I think.
You don't want to talk about Randy abortions?
I just don't know how much further that content has to go.
I think we covered it.
Oh yeah, all the newest conspiracies that are going on today.
You're gonna have to tell me about them, and I'll fire off on what I think.
Okay, you know, your boy, old fucking Swifty Finger Baldwin with the 6-shooter.
Oh yeah, I have heard about this.
Have you heard about that?
What did she say?
She
made a movie about the Bidens.
Elena Hutchison or something like that.
Yeah.
Was the girl that yes, but she was making a documentary about, I think, child pedophilia, and just and had tweeted on her tweeter that she had documents and evidence that could put Hillary away for a long time.
They've been trying to do that with
a
couple of other files too. So
and you know, that just adds another one to Clinton's list.
She suicided. Well, yeah. Here's what's fucked up. It makes it even sketchier that Baldwin was the one to do it. Like, the fact that he did it, and in my head I'm immediately like, yep, she had information that needed to be shut down, and they were just like, we can lose him. Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, but I think they were more or less thinking, they're like, it's not going to be his fault. Like, it's Baldwin. They're not going to blame Baldwin. And then there's all that mess with all the team, the union workers. They were the ones that were working, I believe, were scab workers.
Yeah.
Because the union workers walked out on strike like hours before this shit happened, and had been complaining about the safety conditions already.
My thing is, like, I get.
Which, yes, Alex Baldwin as actor being handed the guns, fucked up. It's not his fault, but he's a producer and had a lot of control of the set.
What's fucked up to me is, one, I mean, I get movies needing to be all out. Like, I get that. I get the absurd amount of money you have to put into it. We got movie magic, baby. You don't need a real gun. You don't even need anything. You can just put one in there. I mean, I don't suggest it, get a fake one, but like, you don't need a real gun.
No, they don't.
Like, at all. Like, there's no need. Like, fucking Crow, the Crow. Isn't that where that happened?
Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's kid.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was a bit.
There's some sketchy.
Because they say it was debris in the gun that shot out.
Yeah, well, they can still, like, my when I went to California, my grandparents had a big ranch, not big, but like a bunch of shit out in the desert called Yucca Valley, and there's this old western town. It's set up like the Old West because they would shoot movies there, in the old western movies. Well, the town locals every weekend would put on a live, like, old timey. Yeah. I remember, like, a guy rode by on a horse and was shooting randomly.
Yes.
And they were like, damn ride-bys, you know, getting worse and worse. But they had showed us what blank would do, and it was like, he had a Coke, guy had a pistol with like a Coke can and shot, and it fucking blew a hole in the Coke can.
It's joke.
Yeah, and then they did it with a 12 gauge blank, and it fucking blew that bitch to pieces pretty much.
And then they did it with a real gun, and fucking Alec Baldwin killed a person.
So yeah, there's definitely still dangerous. Yeah, that one had a live bullet in it. They got live rounds off of the fucking set, and the person that was the armorer or whatever they call him, the person that's supposed to deal with the gun the whole time and be the gun safety person, had been fired from a previous place because he had some accident happen on another thing and got fired or some shit.
I think what's happening is, well, one, this is the second time where it's very obvious that Clinton said somebody killed, but like, it's getting to the point where with the first one, I feel like they kind of got away with like the whole, he needed to die, just in general. Like, everything he did that was shitty, that person needed to die. Not yet. But the fact that it had people like, oh, the Clintons did it. But now it's like, now you're just...
Which person needed to die
fucking,
first?
Epstein.
Oh, yeah. But that's not the first.
Well, that's...
Seth Rich would be the first that they
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
He was the one that was actually getting ready to go testify and all this other shit. And He got shot in the back of the head. It's supposed just a random person walked up and supposedly shot him in the back of the head. Didn't take his watch. Didn't take his wallet. Didn't rob him.
So the Clintons are just willy nilly killing people.
Dude, there's like fucking 100 people that have died that have been connected to, that have been killed or suicided themselves by shooting themselves in the back of the head twice.
Do you think it's both of them, or do you think it's one or the other?
Oh, they're a team.
Because he was,
and their daughter looks just as fucking evil. Like she's.
They both have an evil look too, especially now. He now even more than ever. Like back when he was president, it was like, this guy's a fucking substitute teacher. He's awesome. Like,
he was a smooth motherfucker.
Yeah, like playing jazz on our city hall and shit. Like
that is one thing about the Democrats always nowadays. Like Obama was smooth as shit.
Fantastic public speaker.
Yeah, Bill Clinton was. Like George Bush, that motherfucker could barely. Like Jamie Foxx does a bit about it. He's like, yeah, that motherfucker came out there originally and was like, and we will, USA will. Like that was George Bush and shit. And then until we went to like that, he was ready to go bomb and steal some oil and cause 9/11 and everything. He came out that motherfucker. We ain't gonna let this shit happen again. We're gonna get him and give him some democracy. And
we're getting the Taliban. He spelt it.
Yeah. So
I thought, I don't know who a comic he did. He's like, remember when we had a Republican president that we just laughed at the silly words he said, and now we have one that we laugh at the Nazi tweets he has. Like.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit Trump did that was funny. Okay,
dude, no, he was one of the funniest people.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny in the sense of, I'm probably gonna get, never mind, I'm not gonna say that because it's stupid as fuck. But it's as funny as Dave Chappelle saying, like, you have to admit Hannah Gatsby's not funny.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna say she's not. I'm just saying that's fucking hilarious. Like, that's such a just like fuck you. Like,
I think I saw like a 15-second clip of her shit, and I was like, oh, that's what she does. And they were like, that's what she does through her whole specials.
It is, and I'll say this about the first one.
Does she have jokes, or
it was not meant for me. I watched it because people talked about it being pretty important. I mean, it's out.
Is it just a feminist bashing man?
No. She really goes into like, I mean, there was a lot of like her being a lesbian. I think a lesbian, maybe something else. I've only seen it once, and like the shit she went through, and like she intentionally said it wasn't supposed to be funny. And it was. I mean, I cried. It fucked me up, and but like I've seen
that got breast cancer that was talking
about.
No,
that's Tig Notaro. I do love her. She's great. But this girl, like prior, she's got stand up, and it's fun. Like her newest one is stand up again, and I mean it's feminist. It's there, and but that's okay. I
always wondered what the feminists thought about that one comedian chick, the blonde haired chick out there.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah, no, not Lisa Lampanelli. Eliza.
Oh yeah.
She goes on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, I think.
And the feminists hate him.
Everybody hates him for some reason.
I think a lot more. He wouldn't get 12 million downloads.
Okay,
damn near. I mean, yeah, episode. Who downloads nowadays?
Who doesn't hate listen though? You probably don't, but like,
no,
that's a thing.
I don't even really go to comment. The only reason I have to go to comments is to clean them up for so like you and Quentin and everybody else that gets comments on the videos aren't mean. Like when I do the short clips and there's 10
YouTube channel, dude. I'm used to that fucking
shit.
I
just feel bad. I was like, man, I don't want this. They could be having a rough day, and then they're like, I'm gonna go watch that podcast. I have fun. And then they look in the thing, and it was like, I was not a fucking a queer in that episode.
First of all, it's YouTube comments. They're never gonna be good. It's a cesspool.
No. Some of those motherfuckers on there know how to cut deep.
That's because it's the YouTube comment section.
Some of them motherfuckers are professionals.
I'm very aware of the comment section, but it's
what I get hit with a lot if I comment and like really try to put someone in their place. They always hit me with Brad's basement. I know what the kind of person this is. Keyboard warrior lives in his mom's basement. It's like, no, fuck you. It's my basement.
It's my basement. My wife's upstairs. I've never. Shit. Now I'm gonna go look and see what I got.
No, I don't think you have gotten any on there. I was just using you as an example. Quentin has but he's also gotten, I think, some of the most views on one of our videos, like 20-something thousand or something.
I can't remember what it was on. I think it was like a Facebook video thing that I did once, just quick. Might have been YouTube because it was brutal. But like, I mean, when I say I got attacked by strangers that just joined teams and like then attacked me some more, and it was like just my phone up. And it's like, yo, why is this getting so popular? And it was getting popular because people just wanted to shit on me for it. And it was like, it became a meme for a second, like this small community. And it was like, yo, like, fuck, I'm going to fucking kill myself now. It's like.
Tommy Dangerfield pointed something out to me that, because I told her, I was like showing him my TikTok and he would see, because I got some that are up there, like I think the highest is like 87 or maybe 100,000 views.
Yeah.
And he's seen that a lot of them had a lot of comments too, and it's like, yeah, he's like, man, you do you interact with them a lot on there? It's like, no. He's like, oh, I'm always in my comment section to keep the fucking algorithms going. I was like, smart. I never thought of that, but
TikTok, I don't know how the comment section is.
Because while you're sitting there commenting, if you don't hit pause, that shit just keeps playing and playing and playing.
It's like,
so you see somebody sitting there and had 1,000 fucking comment argument, probably listened to, and then sit there and probably thought about it a bit while they were spelling it,
watching it over and over while,
and it was just playing.
How
I don't know
is
if
the
those are
comment section?
It can get pretty brutal.
Well, it's a comment section on the internet. It's supposed to,
but it's more like teams. There's it seems like every group, TikTok has really brought together all the groups, because Facebook seems much more personal, like, because it's all your friends from high school and everyone you know in your
there's
area.
a lot of information right there. Blah.
Yeah,
TikTok, here's your
like,
photo, here's this.
TikTok connects a lot of people. Like, I'm got with this dude that I was gonna let stay here because he was fighting. He's trying to overturn. He's a lawyer activist that goes all around the country fighting to overturn the Supreme Court case, Terry versus Owen. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's how they get the cops can just stop you and start frisking and harassing you because they're suspicious. So I was like, I told him, like, because he was coming out here because the DEA killed this lady's son in his own yard, and he wasn't even part of the investigation or some shit. Was just going in his house to get his cord, and they were like doing a sting on another neighbor or some shit. And they seen him run out the car and run into his house real quick.
Clapped up.
And they had him, they basically shot him in this front yard and killed the kid that was going to be a cop. So, like, he was coming here, and this would happen in Missouri, but we communicated wrong. I told him I lived like 30, 45 minutes from the city, but he was going to the Capitol.
Oh, yeah, you're nowhere
He's
near
like, dude,
there.
you're like 3 hours away from here where I'm supposed to stay. I was like, yeah, where you at, man? I was like, I'm in...
Not
like
Jefferson City, St. Louis,
yeah,
different
like,
areas.
oh, yeah, no, I don't even know where our capital is, bro. It's not St. Louis?
Think. So, our, what did we decide on the Hillary Clinton scandal that we just brought up?
Hillary is definitely corrupt,
Yeah.
as they get to me in my eyes. But, that could be...
So Mike and Brad definitely say Hillary killed that person. And that's that one.
By proxy, Alex Baldwin. I think I used by proxy correctly.
You did. You're asking the wrong guy. What's the next conspiracy?
Okay, this is one that kind of came to my. I just thought of one day when I was watching a
this
news
is your
clip.
own thing?
I thought it was my own. I thought it was brilliant, and then I posted a video on it on TikTok, and everyone was like, "Fucking duh!"
It's in the pudding.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, but have you heard about the mass, like, amount of immigrants that we've been bringing across the border crisis? Have you heard anything about that?
I mean, how long has this been going on?
Since Joe Biden became president, we've had, like,
I don't know,
double
like,
the number. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's more than I believe Trump had through his whole presidency or some shit like that. Yeah, a lot. And they're bringing them in by the plane load and flying them all over the country and housing them. And like finding, like, yeah. Now they're talking. Now there's some bill that just was introduced to giving the families that were broken up and displaced $450,000 to $1 million each family. Illegal immigrants that were caught coming here.
My last name's Jose now. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. I could use that money. What we've learned is.
But the immigrant. Oh, here's the conspiracy.
Oh, I was gonna say that was pretty conspiracy right away.
What?
Is that not the conspiracy?
No.
Oh,
what's the
that we're just dropping off people and
No,
like,
that's
hey,
real.
okay.
They've admitted to that.
So that is straight up. All
That
right,
is.
cool. So what's the conspiracy?
The conspiracy is all these immigrants that they're bringing over here. I mean, they've got these videos of just thousands of them sleeping under bridges and shit right there across the river, and just like Haiti. Oh, just a lot of immigrants. But they're saying they're immigrants.
Immigrants.
And they're flying them all over, and they're flying them in, seems like strategic places. So when you have a
Portland,
when
probably.
they decide, let's say we wanted the UN or whatever, we wanted to finally become the one world government, the new world order, or whatever they want to call it.
We would need a lot of Mexicans.
Government world in a ran world. It would require a form here. It would require some form of ground, foot, soldier like forces. Where would need to be, they would take us over by the sky. They would take out our electrical grids, and then we would have ground forces and a lot of them. Because you got to think, we have more veterans here than we have military people in the military.
Yeah,
More men that have been trained to kill than we have that are today killing.
You invade America, your infantry is in for a fucking fight.
Yeah, we have some pretty large. So what if that's what they are? What if they're the Kamala and Biden are actually bringing in the new one world government?
Okay, I thought if we were just like, hey, we're bringing in people that are gonna fucking fight.
They want to set up like an Orwellian thing, more Hunger Games kind of thing, to where there's districts, but just ran all together. The Great Reset, basically, where it ties into with that, to where there will be no. They say in their commercial, America, you will own nothing and you will be happy about it, is what their commercial is about.
Hot.
And everyone's gonna go vegan, and there will be no more superpowers. There will be no superpower countries. Like America will no longer be the global superpower.
And it'll just be five guys. Probably.
It'll be a group of, pretty much.
So what we learned is all we needed to say is build the wall. We just need to threaten it, and we were safe. And the minute we were just like, we're no longer doing it, guys.
Yeah.
That's the best joke I could think of in that whole time.
I just think it was fucked up when they were doing all that, because I was working in the hardscape company, and I could not get any of the Mexican. I would not ask any of them to build a retaining wall for me.
They're not retaining wall folk, are they?
I'm just like, who's gonna build this wall for me? And they're like, who's gonna pay for it, cabron? And I'm like,
you're asking the right questions, but not the ones I want you to ask.
Trump says you were paying for it, motherfucker. But there's a lot that goes into it, because there's this huge food. You control the food, and America's like, you control the electrical and you control the food supply, and they'll crumble. Any nation will. Yeah, you can starve people out to death. Look at
Somalia.
It's been done before. So that's the immigrants here are actually strategically being put here for a country's takeover.
That's
because they can't take over America with a civil war. They won't allow us to have a big civil war.
Because that's the only way that we would absolutely destroy the whole country itself.
The whole world. We have too many nukes. We have the most nukes in the world. Known nukes. That's not even unknown.
Yeah.
So even if we were to take over and overthrow, have a big, huge civil war, take over the government and everything, the Canada, Mexico army, Canada army, the UN, China, everyone would come in here and take us over. Like completely lock this country down, put us all in jails and in real cages that would not play around.
How long are we? When's that gonna happen?
I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen. That's just part
You're
of
telling me that's what's happening.
But that's what would happen if we tried to really overthrow the government, because of our military power.
So do we just start fighting Mexicans?
Huh? Well, we're constantly doing that. We're constantly.
I know, but
them.
Here, should we just be like, all right, guys, we know what you're here for, and they're just like, no.
We're the ones that push them here. Like, we look at what we've destabilized all of their countries with government coups and fucking funding radicals. Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, all of them were trained fucking CIA guys. Trained in America. Just like the
United States?
Yes.
That America? We got to stay at one fucking conspiracy at a time, even though it's too hard because they're all just fucking.
Which one? Where?
We were on the
So
New
the
World Order,
immigrants.
NWO
Okay.
taking over WCW Summer Jam 1997.
So I told you we were talking earlier about all the cargo ships off the
Yes.
coast, right? And there's been a big shortage. They're talking about we may not. It's going to affect our Christmas and our Thanksgiving's really bad. Like you might want to, if you're expecting to have a good Christmas, you better order the stuff by now. And that's because there's been multiple reasonings, but it's actually TikTokers that kind of exposed the whole situation. Because at first they said it was the truckers, and then a bunch of truckers made a video saying like, it's not us, we're here, we have it, it's the ports. And they go to the ports and the warehouse workers, they're saying it's them, the port workers. And they're like, we're going as fast as we can. It's not that, it's the chassis aren't being delivered to us. And then the chassis company's like, no, it's not us. They're sitting here. Nobody's picking them up and taking them.
Companies downloading TikTok.
Yeah, and it's just like, so they've done that, and they've kind of debunked the whole thing. And even people from that work at warehouses, big ass warehouses, they're like, we're full.
Yeah.
So one dude showed some of the shit that they were stockpiling, like a bunch of like medical equipment. That usually is just like in areas that are usually like turn and burn areas. Like they come in, packages come in, they separate to the districts they go, and they get unloaded. But now it's just like medical fucking.
Yeah, I think.
Like large amounts.
I think we should have introduced this segment a little bit better. The fact that I don't know I have no clue about any of the shit that you're talking about, so I'm just going off of what I think.
Yeah, but there's only so long I can talk about Roy Scovel's stand-up.
No, that's what's working here. Is you're telling me about it, and I'm just reacting. So it's like that's why we should have explained that, is the fact that like they're gonna be like, I don't think that kid knows what he's talking about. They're trying to put him off like he does. Like, no, that's not what's happening. So like that's.
But yeah, that's.
I don't mind doing this. This is fun, but I do want to fucking. I don't know why you need to goddamn fucking insult Roy Scovel for no reason. To me, he's a fucking hero. All right.
Yeah, I mean, no, I hear he was like in burning buildings during 9/11, but in Chicago, not like.
It's a different guy.
You know, in 9/11, I was at burning buildings with rubble falling around me. I mean, I wasn't in New York. I was I was in a house fire in California.
Brutal. It's a shed. It was a shed.
But yeah, the whole conspiracy with that is that Trump supposedly signed an executive order banning the imports of any country that has interfered with our election.
Yeah, so that's what's
like
happening.
China,
or is China just like, okay?
That's what they're saying is like, so now, last 4 years or 5 years it's been Trump and Russia gate and everything. So now he's saying, because he's still saying that the election was stolen. There's still millions of people that believe that Joe Biden stole the election.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fucking weird. There's a lot of shit that they've done with these computers and these machines that is sketchy. Like when they subpoenaed all the stuff they had, they didn't send them a bunch of votes, and like counties had double vote. It's a lot of weird shit, and it's just like they're asking like, well, have they won any of the cases? It's like, no, they won't even hear about the evidence. They won't even look at the evidence. They just throw that shit.
So is it us telling China like, nah, you ain't delivering your shit, or is China like, oh, you're gonna say you're gonna stop us? Okay, well, we're just gonna stop.
No, they're saying we have all the items that are out there in the cargo ships. Just think, those cargo ships can hold thousands of semi-trailer loads.
So I'm so confused. So we have the stuff.
It's all sitting off the coast about a mile or so off the coast of California and Texas. And
what's really stopping it from coming in?
Supposedly they're now legally allowed to drop off the products.
Because of Donald Trump.
Because Donald Trump signed an executive order banning any country that interferes with our elections from being able to make imports.
Honestly, what I think, I could see it.
I think that one's a bullshit one.
I think I could see it big China like saying, because I mean China's been fucking just dick teasing Taiwan like intensely. So I could see them be like, "Fuck you too. You want some smoke? Here you
Yeah,
go. We're just
yeah,
gonna do this for a
but
second. Come at us."
I seen that, but then somebody showed me a map of Taiwan's.
That sounded so insulting. Like, have you ever seen a globe?
No. There was a map of the Taiwan's like no fly zone, restricted fly zone for them. It goes into China like hellas, like it would be like 3 states over in America. Like it's like, okay, Taiwan's here, and you got another country, and it's like Taiwan's air, and then you got some ocean. Taiwan's shit is like this.
Did not know that. So they're just taking off, and they're like, we're just flying. We're doing our job. And it's like,
it's
no.
kind of like from what you hear about some of the Middle Eastern countries that are like, oh, we don't oppress them at all. We just steal their houses, literally. Did you see that? The Palestinians and the Jewish recently? I saw a video of this guy.
I don't know if I like this segment anymore. Like, I'm getting fucking like, God damn, it's the end of the world.
This Jewish dude came in and just kicked out these people out of their house, these Palestinians that have been living there. And because by natural law or something, it's theirs, and they were allowed. And he's like, "It's not my fault." He's like, "I have to do it. I have to take the house." Yeah, it's like, what? It's
when
not your
people
fault.
Are that religious, like, because that man believes he's like, "Hey, whoa, no, I'm just doing my judicial duties."
The Palestinians and there is some real
judicial duties was funny.
There's some real hate there. Like if you look at the military, see, everyone thinks of them as religious, praying thing, right, but they've got some badass militaries
on site,
and they are like some killers, and they do not like each other. But
I
hate to say it, anytime I see like videos of them two like talking shit on one another, I don't see too many. I'm sure they're out there, and I'm just, maybe because of the algorithms, they show me the Israel shit. But the Israel militia, they do not think, they're very racist towards the Palestinians. Like they think, and the Palestinians are against the Jews, but the Palestinians do kind of have a reason, from what I understand, and I'm no historian on that kind of that area, but everyone agreed just to give up a bunch of Palestine to Israel, and make it Israel, without even the Palestinians being a part of the agreement. They were like, hold up, wait a minute.
Wait.
It's from what I understand. There could be a lot more. I'm sure there's a lot more that does it. But yeah, they supposedly, from what the Bible says, that's the Holy Land, and they're going off. That's what they're going off of, making their fucking shit is the Bible still.
When you believe that hard.
Yeah, when it was hundreds of years before stories that have been passed on generation from generation, and someone finally decided to write it.
Yeah, I think you think people named John and Mark wrote a book that you should be following for eternity? Like, no,
and they weren't white.
No, there was solid. Yeah,
like that is one of the most annoying things.
If I met somebody from that area and he was like, "What's up? My name's Mark," I'd be like, "It ain't."
No way, Kimbo.
It ain't. Where'd you get that fucking Adidas shirt, bro? It's not yours.
Like from the landfill that you guys dump all your trash.
It's like, all right, that bit got a little darker, but all right, Mark. I don't know. I think Jesus is white because I look like Jesus.
You don't even have enough beard from what they say.
Okay, well, look, I keep it a little trimmed than he did because...
in all honesty, I don't think, if this whole thing, Jesus was a real man and all of that, and he was like a carpenter and everything, I don't think he was as
good as a carpenter.
Jesus is a carpenter.
No, I know. I said as good as a carpenter. I thought you said.
I just don't think he was as good of as a guy, as nice of a guy as everyone. Because if you ever met a super nice carpenter,
that's good. Yeah.
Have you had fun with me at all?
It must have been terrible at miracles if carpenter was still something they mentioned. Where he's like, he's a carpenter. Oh yeah, and he does miracles. Like he sucks at miracles.
They're like, shit, I don't want to ask this motherfucker for nothing.
Because he's a dick.
Hey man, do you think you could cure this terminally cancer I got? Well, fucking get up here. Come on. Hurry the fuck up, man.
Cut your dicks off. That's what we're going to do now. I kind of wish.
And like, I've never met a carpenter that didn't smoke weed. Not for one. Unless they were on probation.
Jesus is smoking pot.
Like,
God's not in his life. He didn't know his dad.
And I'm sure he's done heroin. I'm pretty sure I've seen the holes in his hands and feet. Like, he's check them holes, check them veins, dog.
And he's like, I'm gonna fucking give this a whirl, huh, Dad? And he's just like,
I seen him begging for change the other day. I know it was him because the dimes fell through the holes in his hands.
So, do you know Jesus was also a door-to-door Bible salesman? They think my mom's religion think that he was not on a cross; he was on a stake, and that makes it so much worse to think about. Like, because how he would have died is just, I did that to people, and it's like that's light enough that they put it in the Bible. That's light enough that Mel Gibson would do it. Like, that's not even the worst shit they would do to people.
Yeah, there was in Transylvania, the history of Transylvania, the castle, Transylvania, yeah. With actual Dracula, the Lord Dracula or whatever, the real man. You know why he was considered such so crazy? He was I believe he was a general or the leader of the area, and what he would do is, like, I think he was attacked. He figured out a way to be able to put people on these big, huge sticks that were carved. Yeah, where they would stick them through their ass and it'd come out of their mouth and they'd still be alive and shit.
They would just let them sit on it.
And then moan, and it would freak people out so bad that people would come to attack him and just be like, what? That he would do that to his own people or the other enemies? So.
Like, anytime people are like, well, people are good, it's like, think about how much creativity went into thinking about torturing people in the beginning of things. Before people were like, oh, we were just found guilty of, like, within this past week,
America was for torturing human. Somebody I think from Guantanamo Bay finally was able to actually publicly testify, which it usually doesn't happen. But other than that, the World International Tribunal courts were just held within the past week and found the America guilty on multiple counts of genocide of brown and ethnic people and human rights violations.
That's what I said. When people were like, well, animals kill each other, just sit like mindless. And it's like, they've never, ever committed genocide. We've done it 3 times this past year. Like, humans are the worst thing in the fucking world.
Genocide of others.
Nerd this out and make my joke not as funny, asshole. God damn.
If you think about it, because certain ivies or honeysuckle takes over and eradicates.
I'm not going to think about it.
It commits genocide on all the other plants. But yes, you're right. In the animal kingdom, they do not kill just for fun. Right. Besides dolphins, they be raping.
Cats too. Cats kill for fun because
they'll play with their food first.
There's times where she'll just bring me shit. She'll be like, "Hey,
oh yeah, that's
for you," and it's like, "I love you, but
yeah, that's showing. That's what they're showing you. The
Blues tickets would have been nice. Fucking heating bill needs to be paid.
Shit. Okay, what is the next
one? What is our verdict on that? This is the light structure I'm thinking of right now. You give me a topic, or you say a topic, we talk about it, we come up with a stupid verdict, we give a verdict on it, we move on. Probably not discussing that topic at all that whole time.
All right. Okay, I got a good question for you. What do you think the main problems with our government is today? It can be anything.
It can be anything, but it's like it was like 9.
Do you think it's the Republicans or the Democrats, or do you think it's liberals, or do you think it's AOC, or do you think it's
I don't even know what
fucking
that is.
war? Do you think it's war?
Keep in mind,
corruption?
You're getting an answer from somebody who knows very little of current.
What do you think when someone's talking about the government and politics? What is the first thing you think of when you think of America and the government?
When I think about American government, what I think of the government's always, like, we've always known that the government's shit. Like, they're just shitty fucking people, and it's. Everybody, I mean, not everybody, but it's always been like, oh, they're turning us against each other. And it was always like, fuck off. You just don't have anything interesting to say. That's literally what's happening. Like, and it's not, I don't even know if it's them on purpose. It's us on Facebook that we just have this drive to sound better than the next person. And it's like, you guys are arguing about shit that you probably don't even fucking care that much about. It's just shit that you think is important at the moment. And there is important shit that needs to be talked about, but it's like
I did a bit about that, about people worry about shit that they do not need to be worried about, that don't even need to concern them. If you're at a gas pump filling a plastic bag up because you're worried about the economy and a gas shortage and a bank run, and you're thinking it'll go into a grocery bag, you could save gas in a you got a lot worse. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it to put gas in your car. You're gonna be killed before you even get to use the car, bitch.
And like the worst thing what we're doing is every time there's a new thing, what will happen is like the transgender thing. Like anybody who says anything against it, they found a way to be like, oh, that's harming. That's physically harming trans people. Talk like that, and like what the right's done it the exact same way from other shit. That's just how we do it, back and forth. Where it's like the minute that there's a response to your shit, you find a way to make it not acceptable, and that's not okay. Like
we look for shit to be like,
and it's like you're like, no, because I have questions and maybe a little fucking skeptical doesn't that's not killing anybody, and now you're saying it is, and that's not okay.
Yeah, when they say like language is violence and shit like that, like words can be violent.
I mean, look, I don't want anybody to go out there and just be like, this, we're gonna go kill people, let's do this. I don't want anybody to do that. But when people are saying that, they're saying that about people who are like, hey, I don't think I agree with that, and it's like, oh, look, this is what you're doing, and it's like, whoa, don't or anytime anybody says anything like if you get called a rapist, that's not coming off if you didn't do it. That's probably rare that you get called that and it didn't happen. That doesn't happen often. It happens, but you have a better chance of that being fine, unless you're famous.
I wouldn't be surprised if we seen
I think it's more
a percentage. I think we might actually be shocked about how high the percentage was of men that have been accused of that. Maybe not even gone to jail and shit. They've just been called that, and
just been called that. Yeah,
been called that.
That happens far more frequently. That happens like just being called that, and that label. You're not getting that off.
No, yeah.
You're not call somebody racist. You're not getting that off. Like. And it's not canceling. I don't think it's going to cancel anybody. I don't know if there was such a thing of canceling. I mean, there's people losing their jobs and shit. It's like, is that so much canceling, or is that just so much as you got fucked by a goddamn mob? Like,
there's been like the cancel culture thing. All right, there's some cancel culture where, all right, no, it's not cancel culture in the most cases is. You have the right to say and believe what you want. You have the right to say it out loud. Okay? No one told you have to keep it in your head. No one told you had to say it out loud, though, either. So you got to be responsible for the shit that you say. And if you say some horrible racist shit that's going to affect the company you work for and is going to make people look at you in a different way that you don't like, maybe keep that shit in your head.
Don't tweet it.
If not, don't get pissed off when you lose your job, lose your wife, lose your kids look at you differently, and you never get another job in whatever field you're in because you're that piece of shit. That's just on you. That's you for not being smart enough and intelligent enough to think to yourself, maybe I shouldn't say this out loud.
Yeah. I shouldn't say this in front of all my coworkers.
Yeah.
So
like that kind of shit is real, but there has been times that motherfuckers have had that happen to them. Like Daniel Tosh, they tried to do it too, all right? Daniel Tosh.
Oh, okay.
He was at a show and he covered for a comic that didn't show up somewhere, and he didn't have nothing prepared. He went in and filled the spot, and he came up there and was like, hey, what do you guys want to hear? What do you want me to do? And someone out in the crowd, drunk guy, someone said, rape, and he started belittling the guy like, yeah, that's real funny to talk about, that's a real good one. And a drunk lady or something stands up and is like, there's nothing fucking funny about rape, and kept talking. And he finally said to her, wouldn't it be funny if 10 dudes raped her right now, or something like that?
Yeah.
And they took just that part.
Yeah it's
and they tried to cancel him with that. They took the one thing Kevin Hart wanted he always talked
Yeah.
about being in the Emmy to get to do the Grammys or whatever, and they took that shit from him for saying something 10 years ago, saying fag or something 10 years ago.
And who's digging those up? Like, that's something I've always wanted to know.
I'm
Is,
glad
like,
they
who
do dig him
is
up, because that bitch that tried to cancel Dave Chappelle on the Netflix special with the workers, the transgender
Yeah, she's in trouble for just being a bad
person.
worker or
Yeah,
something
she
like
was.
that.
She's whatever anti-Asian is. I don't know. She was racist towards Asians. They should have got hit with a bunch of texts about homophobia in Asians. I was like, I don't get that from a transgender.
And, like,
but
I've seen it on. I've seen it on happen when it first started happening, where people would like go onto Facebook, find your job, call your job, and like get you fired.
the guy that dropped the N-bomb at Funny Bone had that happen
which
too.
is, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And,
you got to take responsibility for that shit. Expect what people are going to do.
And it sucks seeing it happen. Like, oh, that sucks that you lost your job. But then, like, I've also seen the people who do that to people lose their job the same exact fashion when they people catch their shit and then send it in.
Yeah, they're usually the ones
and
that
like
will.
there's these two sides that are celebrating back and forth, and both times it's just, I always have this feeling of like, no.
I think it's almost impossible to be a content creator today. Like, because I've noticed on like TikTok and shit, first off, you'll get there's two teams. It seems like everything's been politicized or on something, whether it's the gender issue, whether it's the whatever the issue is. There's always the opposite team that's pissed off at the end.
Yeah.
So they're going on there and they mass report accounts. And they get their shit banned and get their, like, because they don't like them, and they go in there and they report something saying it's hateful this, it's hateful that. And yeah, I gotta stick with, I can't be a hypocrite. If you have the right to say what you want, you need to take responsibility for that, because those people have the right to go and say what they want. If you don't like that they're gonna call you a racist homophobe for saying it, then don't say it out loud. I'm not going to tell you not to think it, because I can't tell you what to think. You probably should not think it.
Yeah, you should probably find a different way.
Like, if it's 2021 going into 2022 here soon, and if you're still living in that fucking mindset, you can kill yourself.
Yeah,
like, in all honesty, at this point, you can... Yeah, there's no reason. You're just holding us back, and I believe that too. I don't know what that thought is and everything, but there are certain people and certain, like... genes and family trees that just may need to be made lumber out of.
Yeah, like,
we may need to splash out and get rid of, dry up some of these gene pools that we got out there.
Passing cash down left and right. Like with TikTok, it's like these fucking political people. If you go to YouTube, even, it's not necessarily political, but all the top creators are people that are just bitching at each other. That's it. That's all they're creating.
On that end of it, too.
And
Yeah, but I guess
like,
there's this whole other end of YouTube that actually gets all YouTube's views.
Yeah.
With the kids.
Yes. And it's like, that's where all of that, and it's like, that's so...
It's like pranks on video camera that we did as a kid.
Not real. It's more like, they're called reaction videos, and they just watch that person's video, react to it. And it's just them bitching at each other, and then they beef, and then these people beef. And like, I watched like a 30-minute video one time on it because I was really stoned, and it's like, these are the top create, like where Logan and Jake Paul came from.
Yeah, did you hear Jake Paul's taking throwing fucking smoke at Tyson?
Look, hey, I mean, not Tyson, but I'm gonna say right now,
Mike Tyson, dog.
Jake Paul, he is a boxer. I'm saying that he is I've seen the man fight. He's not
He's not
champion.
I don't think he belongs in the. He doesn't.
He needs to stop taking these stupid prize fights. He needs to find a legitimate boxer that he can fight, prove that he is a boxer, and then people will fucking give him the respect.
He can do that, or he could do it the right way and go through and earn his way up through the ranks, like by fighting and winning.
That's what I'm saying.
But he has to start in the minor leagues. There is differently. It's not like you go and get into boxing and you're automatically a boxing.
Well, I mean, if
like
you're
in the rankings of the boxing, it's not how it goes. You have to have a trainer. You have to have a fighter, which he has all that. That's easy. But he's got to make it through the amateur leagues.
That's how he got to fight these professional fights, because he has had an amateur, like, because he's always talked about boxing. I think
he's won amateur shit. I didn't. He doesn't have any belts.
No, he's only like 3 professional fights in, I think.
Yeah, see,
And then
that's
he fought-
He went straight to professional fighting, which
Well, no, I'm sure,
good for
I
him.
don't know, but
But I
don't
just
know
think
what
he's
happened
taking a
before.
lot of. If he's gonna be taking up that, there's a lot of people that earn it. It's like when I would see like Lil Wayne at the X Games trying to compete and shit. It's like you're taking somebody's spot that's worked a lot harder than you for that.
Before the videos started coming out, what do we know? What if that's what he's been doing? Amateur fighting. He might have. I don't know his fucking.
I always thought I might not know much about. I don't know much about Jake Paul. I just thought he was always just a YouTuber,
fucking billionaire because of YouTube, and he's a douchebag. And so like
some of
his
his
free
shit's
time-
funny. I've seen clips of his shit. That's pretty funny.
He's
They're
just a
talking.
dick.
They don't have much. They don't. We look at everything and try to find a great setup and punch, but they're just talking like boys in a way, like Joe Rogan and a group of friends.
He was the one that got in trouble for the suicide forest thing, where he went to Japan and they went into the suicide forest on YouTube, and like they saw the body. It's fucked up. And it was on YouTube Live. YouTube ended up like fucking canceling shutting their shit down. It was like a big scandal because I think they were like number 1 or 2 count at the time, and they're like, "You can't do that." They're like, "We can't do what? Like, what did you just do, motherfucker? Like, you're
making snuff films.
This is my biggest bone to pick with him. He knows who his fans are. He knew his giant fans
I think my nephews
are children, and he still chooses
young
to do
teenage
shit like
males, which are very influential.
It's like, I'm cool with the edgier shit. I'm cool with the like being done with your friends, but it's like when you go there, like that's when it's just like, go fuck yourself.
My little nephew said the funniest shit of video he wants to make. He said he wants to dress up as the Black Power Ranger and go through retail stores taking out fucking white mannequins and beating, just tackling.
I mean, let's film it tonight. Like, let's go get this kid.
Is that not great?
Like, that's fucking hilarious.
I was like, I might use that as a bit somehow.
What the fuck was I gonna say about?
That would be a great videos though. You just go random places and you could do it multiple times because they do that shit. That's how crazy. That's what they want to do. That's what my nephews want to do. They want to go and fuck shit up in a store.
God, I remember Jackass days. All right, I guess ours was. I don't know about you, but ours was more like the hurting yourself stuff. We did pranks in places.
Yeah, no, these people are causing these kids are like.
Yeah, those kids are
causing like people set up a whole huge display, bottles stacked all up into a big pyramid, and they'll come in there and just fucking jump and tackle it and take it out.
Yeah. I just like those are one of those things where it's like, we get it, you're a dick, like you're a dick.
It's all for views,
and that's it. Like, I mean, Jackass. It's kind of the same thing.
My one nephew's gotten into scootering really hard. He's actually kind of killing it.
Scootering? Like fucking dude, I was
fruit scoot.
Dude, I was a fucking beast on the fucking what was it, Razor?
Yeah, that's what he's fucking. He's got a custom made one, I believe.
How old is your cousin? Coming up with these great
he's like
sketches.
15 or something.
Wanted to go vandalize shit.
He did it. It was funny.
Go out there, fucking spray a cab and shit at 15.
What is ACAB?
All cops are bastards.
Oh, okay, I'm cool with that.
I used to date a girl who was a graffiti artist, phenomenal, like one of the best artists I've ever seen in my life.
Oh shit, where'd that go? Where did he go?